Hello, good morning friends. Today we will start with a new topic, lesson number 5, Introduction to Euclid's Geometry. So, the first point you listen, the word geometry comes from the Greek words geo meaning the earth, metrian meaning to measure. Once more see, the word geometry is derived from two words, which are they? From geo and metrian. Geo meaning earth and metrian meaning measure. In short, the meaning is that measuring the earth or measuring the land. In your textbook, many points are written. You should go through all the points properly. Okay, some points only I will explain here. And the branch of mathematics was studied in various forms in every ancient civilization like Egypt, Babylonia, China, India, Greece, etc. Egyptians developed a number of geometrical techniques and rules for calculating simple areas and simple constructions, even constructing canals and pyramids, etc. And in Harappa and Mohenjo-daro also, you can see the roads are parallel to each other. There was an underground drainage systems are there, and houses had many rooms of different types, and the bricks used for the constructions having measurement, length is to breadth is to thickness is equal to 4:2:1. These all points I didn't written in the note. You go through the textbook. Okay. Now next point. In ancient India, the Sulba Sutras were the manuals of geometrical construction. These are used for manuals of. These are the manuals of geometrical construction, different types of constructions. And now, Sriyandra consists of 9 interwoven isosceles triangles. These triangles are arranged in such a way that they produced 43 subsidiary triangles. You knowing about the Vedas, okay? 4 Vedas are there, mean Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda and Other Veda. Sriyandra is in which Vedas? Other Veda. So, it consists of how many interwoven isosceles triangles? 9 interwoven isosceles triangles. And these triangles in such a way drawing, you will get how many triangles? 43 subsidiary triangles forming. These 9 triangles you are arranging in such a way, no? So that triangles again forming 43 subsidiary triangles. These all points are asking in the form of either in the form of fill in the blanks or MCQs or one word answers, anything. So very important points these are. Okay. So Sriyandra consists of how many triangles are? 9 interwoven isosceles triangles. This sentence very important. 9 interwoven isosceles triangles. Any type of triangles? No. Isosceles triangles. You knowing the word meaning isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle means any two sides are equal. They are called the isosceles triangles. And these triangles arranging in such a way, what happening? 43 subsidiary triangles forming. So in such a way arranging, we will get a 43 triangles. Such a way it is arranging. You can see this type of Sriyandras and this all we are using in temples also, and in several places we are using it. Next point. It is believed that the knowledge of geometry passed on from Egyptians to Greeks. And next, a Greek mathematician, Thales, is credited with giving first known proof. So the first known proof is made by whom? Greek mathematician Thales. And what is the statement of that proof? A circle is bisected by its diameter. Circle is bisected by its diameter. So very clearly you know in diameter means what? Diameter is the longest chord. Chord means what? Chord is the line segment joining any two points on the circle. So that line segment or the chord which is passing through the center, we are calling as diameter. Okay? Therefore, circle is bisected by its diameter. So we are drawing a diameter very clearly, knowing that the diameter will bisect the circle. Bisecting means dividing into two equal parts. Okay. Now, next point. Pythagoras was one of the most popular students of Thales. Okay. And Pythagoras was the student of whom? Thales. And now, next point. Geometry was being developed in an unorganized manner in different civilizations. Actually, up to till 300 BC, geometrical terms and geometries, different statements, theorems, everything are given in the disorder manner, not in organized in a proper manner. It is so that then the mathematician Euclid, actually Euclid we are calling as the father of geometry. Euclid was a teacher of mathematics at Alexandria in Egypt. He collected all the known results. So the mathematician Euclid only arranged these all results, theorems, definitions, everything he collected together and arranged in a proper manner. Okay. So the Euclid was a teacher of mathematics at Alexandria in Egypt. Okay. And he collected all the known results and compiled them in a series of 13 chapters, and each called a book. These all the results and the definitions, these all collected together, and he arranged in a proper manner, and he compiled them in a series of 13 chapters. He made in the form of a 13 chapters, and he made a book. Okay. Now see the next point. The notions of point, line, plane means surface, and so on were derived from the surrounding objects. He observed the surroundings, and these notions of point, line, plane, and this all he derived from the surroundings. And geometrical concept of a solid was created and developed from the studies of space. The geometrical concept of solid was created and developed from the studies of space. And you know, boundaries of a solid are surfaces. So you take any solid, suppose you can able to take a cuboid, or you take your textbook. Textbook you can see how many surfaces you can see outside. So actually you can able to see 6 surfaces you can see. So you closely watch your textbook. While watching your textbook, you can see how many surfaces you can see. 6 surfaces you can see outside. So each surface is in the shape of a rectangle. In your textbook, outside portion you are watching, you can see 6 surfaces are there. These all surfaces are what type of rectangular shape is there. Okay. And you can able to take a cylinder. Cylinder surface, what is the shape? Curved surface is there. Cylinder curved surface is there, upside circle is there, downside circle is there. So in short, boundaries of a solid are always surfaces. Boundaries of solids are surfaces. Next point. Surfaces have no thickness and their boundaries are curves and straight line. That only teacher told now. Surfaces have no thickness. Surfaces have no thickness. You can able to see the surface of the your textbook itself. Upper surface only you see, only surface see, not the full whole textbook. Only surface you are observing. It has no thickness, and their boundaries of the surface you see. Boundaries of that surfaces are edges. Edges you observe. What is the edges? Edges are lines or line segments. So that point only here written. Surfaces have no thickness and their boundaries are curves and straight lines. Their boundaries of the surface are You can see edges of the surface. You can see each edge. You can see each edge is in the form of a line segment only. No, that only we are written here. The boundaries of the surfaces are either it may be curved surface, curves are there, or straight lines are there. When we are taking a cuboid, it's a surface. You can see it's a surface. What shape coming? Its surface is edge is what shape coming? Its edge or its boundary is coming in the form of line segments. You take a circle, you take a cylinder edges. When you are observing, you can see it is also in the shape of curves coming. That is here both the points written here. So the curved surfaces have no thickness and their boundaries are curves or straight lines. So cuboid you are taking, you can see straight line coming. When you are taking a cylinder, its edge you can see as curves. Okay. The lines end in points. We are going to connect the relation between solid, surface, line and point. That is why we explained from the point solid onwards. See here, we started to explain from solid onwards. See, geometrical concept of a solid was created and developed from the studies of space. Boundaries of solid are what? Surfaces. Then surfaces have no thickness. What are the boundaries of the surfaces? Boundaries of the surfaces are either curves or straight lines. When straight line coming, cuboid shape is coming, straight line coming, and cylinder shape, cylinders surfaces taking, you can see their edges are curved shape coming. So the next point we are going to connect the lines ends in points. Lines ending in point, what we are calling it is line segments. When the lines are ends in a point, 2 points, we are calling it is line segments. So the edge you are taking, you take the edge of your text, one edge you take in your textbook itself. This edge you can see 2 points are coming on. Yes, a point has no dimension. Point, how we are marking? Point usually we are marking with a dot. It has no dimension, it has no size also. So a point has no dimension. So we connected from solid to points. See here, it's a stepwise how connected I written downside. See, each point is very important points. The steps from solids to points I connected. See here, first we explained the solids. Solids boundaries are their surfaces. Surface boundaries are lines. Lines boundaries are points. Okay, so we connected that stepwise connection of solids to points. Solids are solid having boundaries, surfaces. Surface boundaries we are calling as lines. Lines boundary we are calling as points. Lines are ending in points. So how connected it is? Solid, then surface, then lines, then point. Then reverse how you will write it? Point, lines, surface and solids. So correct connection is this one. Solid to surface, surface to line, lines to points. Okay, clear the points? So these are very important points. Okay. And next point. A solid has 3 dimensions. You know, a solid has 3 dimensions. So its dimensions we can. So when we are taking a solid, when you take a cuboid, you imagine a cuboid, or you can able to take your textbook properly. That is in the shape of a cuboid only. It has length, breadth, height. So how many dimensions coming? 3 dimensions. And surface has 2 dimensions. So you take the top surface only, you take a top surface only taking, so you can see length and breadth only. Therefore surface has 2 dimensions. Now you see line. If you are taking a line, it has only length, breadth is not there, height is also not there. So line has only 1 dimension. And point has no size and shape. A dot only we are using for representing a point. Therefore point has no dimension. So this is also important point. A solid has 3 dimensions. Surface has 2 dimensions. line has one and a point has no dimension. Clear these points? Okay. Then we will move to the Euclid's definitions. Euclid's already gave 23 definitions in book 1 of the elements. Okay. So book 1, and it is given named as elements. So Euclid given how many definitions? 23 definitions total given in that book 1, and it is named as elements. And Euclid's definition, some definitions are given down. These all points are either in the form state 3 definitions or state 3 axioms or state 3 postulates, in such a way asking. So Euclid's definition, go through the points. A point is that which has no parts. So point is in such a way that point has no part, it has no size, no shape, and nothing. Therefore, what is the first definition? A point is that which has no part. Actually, without a point, a line segment, we can't able to construct, or we can't able to study geometry. Actually, point is the basic of geometry itself. A point is that which has no part, it has no size, no shape, nothing. Okay. And next point, this is where all the definitions you have to by heart. A point is that which has no part. That is the first definition. Second definition, a line is breadthless length. Line, when we are drawing a line, so here itself this line you see, I drawn this line you see. So any breadth is there? Okay. A line is breadthless length. Line has no breadth. So it is, we are measuring in the lengthwise only measuring. So line is breadthless length. That is the second definition. Next, the third definition, see. The ends of a line are points. Ends of a line. So ends of the line you can able to mark with points. Then ends of the line marking with the point, that much part we are calling as line segments. What we are calling these line segments. The ends of a line are points. This is the third definition. So a point is that which has no part. First definition. A line is breadthless length, and ends of a line are points. Okay, these all points you are understanding points only. Fourth point. A straight line is a line which lies evenly with the help of points only. That also you knowing. When you are taking a straight line, how many points are there? Infinitely many points are there. Each dot is a point. Okay. So the definition, see properly. A straight line is a line which lies evenly with the points on itself. Points, that is all the points. So here one point, here one point, here one point, all points joining together, we are getting a line. Straight line is a line which lies evenly with the points on itself. So a straight line contains full of points only. And next point. Now we can consider surface. You see surface. Surface is that which has length and breadth. Surface is that which has length and breadth. Surface has length and breadth. So this all I already explained. A surface is that which has length and breadth only. It has length and breadth only. And sixth point, the edges of a surface are lines. Edges of the surface. Each surface you can see. If you are sitting in a room, you can see that surface. Each surface you can see, the walls you see. The walls we can call as a surface. Its edges you can see. Edges are line segments or line. Therefore, the edges of a surface are always lines. Okay. And now, seventh definition. A plane surface is a surface which lies evenly with the straight lines on itself. A surface you are taking, a surface containing many lines, line segments we can draw. So a surface is a that which has length and breadth only, and edges of a surface, edges, endpoint, edges of this surface you can see. Each surface you are taking, you can see 4 edges you can see, and the 4 edges are in your textbook. If you are taking a textbook in your hand, it's 4 edges you can see. Each 4 edges are line segment. Actually, line segments are a part of a line. Okay. A plane surface is a surface which lies evenly with the straight lines only. So in a plane surface, so many lines are there. So many lines, line segments are there. That only written here. A plane surface is a surface which lies evenly with the straight lines on itself. So on a surface we can able to draw many lines and line segments. Okay, these are the 7 definitions. These are all 7 definitions for by hurting. So you have to try to make it clear. The meaning you make it clear, and then you learn it by yourself. Okay. So can able to ask a question. State the 7 definitions. 3 mark question can ask. So you have to write all the 7 definitions. If 5 definition asking, any 5 definitions write. Okay. Okay, students. Now next point. A point, line and plane are called undefined terms of geometry. I told you already, point, proper definition is not there. Line is also we can't able to put a proper definition, and surface is also not having a proper definition. Therefore, the point, line, plane we are calling as undefined terms of the geometry. So a rectangle, we can define a rectangle, we can define a circle, we can define a line segment. Okay, so we can define a cuboid. These all we can define. These all are geometrical part only, solids. These all we can define, but point, line, plane we can't able to define properly. So these we are accepted as undefined terms of geometry. Which are the undefined terms of geometry? Point, line, plane are the undefined terms of geometry. Now listen, we are going to explain about, now the main topic of this geometry is that axioms and postulates. So you want to know what is meant by axioms. Actually, axioms means it is applicable in every part of mathematics. Okay, and axioms means self-evident statement which is related to any branch of studies. Self-evident statement which is related to any branch of study, mathematics, any branch of studies. Okay, so that we are calling as axioms. For example, I written for your understanding, 2 is a natural number. It is a self-evident statement, no need to prove. Actually in mathematics there are usually we are using 2 types of statement. That is which type of statement? It is true statement and false statements. Self-evident statements. Self-evident statements means it is not required any proof. It is already correct. It is already true. Or we didn't want to prove it. There is no need of any proof. So that is why example written here for your understanding. So it is applicable in every part of mathematics. And axiom means a self-evident statement which is related to any branch of mathematics, any branch of studies. So 2 is a natural number. So it is self-evident statement. Okay, 2 is a natural number. And now we can differentiate with the postulate. What is meant by postulate? See, self-evident statement which are used in geometry only. So these are the difference between them. So postulates means we are using only in geometry. Self-evident statements which are used in geometry we are calling as postulates. Postulates. Okay. Those statements which are using in geometry we are calling as postulates. And axiom means it can able to applicable in every part of mathematics. These are the difference between them. So you want to know axioms and postulates. What is the difference between them? axioms we can able to use every part of mathematics, and postulates we use only in geometry. So I written some example for your understanding. A line segment has two endpoints. It is related to only geometry. Okay, and this is not geometry. It is algebra portion. So 2 is a natural number. Okay, so 2 is a natural number, and postulates we are using only in geometry, and axioms we can able to use any branch of mathematics. Are you got clear now the points? And now I written some Euclid's axioms. These are also very important. So I explained the 7 definitions. That 7 definitions used by heart as it is. And now I am going to explain Euclid's axioms. That also you should learn. You should by heart. First you make it clear, understand it. First point, listen. Things which are equals to the same things are equal to one another. So not make a confusion. Things which are equal to the same things are equal to the another, equal to one another. See here. Here I written A equal to B. This B and B equal. Things which are equal to the same things. This A equal to B and this C also equal to B. That is A and C are two things which are equal to the same thing. Which are equal to which one? B. Understood? Then they are equal to one another. The meaning is that A and C are equal. Clear? Concept clear now? Things which are equal to the same things. Okay. So things, which are the things we have taken? A and C are the two things. Are equal to the same things. Same thing means here B is same here. So A equal to B and C equal to B, then what will happen? Automatically A and C will become equal. Clear? That will be written. Now understood the word meaning. See, things which are equal to the same thing are equal to one another. These are equal to one another. So A and C are equal. Clear concept? Okay. Now next move to the next point. Second axiom, listen. If equals are added to equals, the whole are equal. Equals are added to equals. So C is equal now. C is equal. And here, if equals are, A and B are also equal. C already equal, you know it. So this C I am going to add on both the sides. Here also adding, here also adding. If any two things are equal, then any common number we are adding on both the sides, so value will not change. So that only I written here. If equals are added to equals, so this equals and this equals. These are already equal, you know, in concept clear there. C equal to C, or 2 is equal to 2, or 3 is equal to 3. This C we are adding on both the sides. Then what will happen? If they are equal, then another equal things are adding with this one, the value will same. That only written here. If equals are added to equals, this equals are added to this equals, then what will happen? Then the whole are equal. Then A plus equal to B plus C. Is it clear? Okay, students. Now, next point, see. If equals are subtracted from equals, the remainders are equal. Here A and B already equal, and C equal to C. C is a number. Any number you take. If they are equal, suppose these two parts are equal, LHS and RHS are equal. If the C is subtracting from here also, this C is subtracting from here also, then what will happen? The remainder, after subtracting, what will get? The remainders. The remainders on both the parts will be equal. If equals are subtracted from equals, the remainders are equals. Okay, the remaining part will be equal. See here. What clear the next point? If equals are subtracted from equals, the remainders are equal. This A and B are already equal, and see here equal given. This is subtracting from each part, LHS and RHS both. Then the remaining part which you are getting will be equal. That will be clear. Next point. Things which coincide with one another. Things which coincide with one another are equal to one another. So things which coincide with one another. See here. Suppose I am drawing two line segments, A, B and BA. This B I am keeping upon this one. So they will coincide each other now. So AB and BA are coincide each other. So if no part is extra, if AB and BA line segment, one line segment I am keeping upon the other one, it will coincide each other. There is no extra part. So things which coincide with one another, and this is coinciding with this BA, then what will happen? Both are equal. So things which are coincide with one another are equal to another. Then they are mutually equal. Clear the points? Okay. Next point. The whole is greater than a part. The whole is greater than a part. I taken the whole circle and I taken some parts. This is a part diagram. I already here drawn here no. This one you see. Already I drawn here this much portion. I shaded over here this much portion. This portion is the parts, and the whole circle you see, which is greater. The whole is greater. This whole part is always greater than this shaded portion. This shaded portion we are taken a part from that. A small part you are taken from that. So this shaded portion is greater or the whole part is greater? The whole is greater. Very clear concept. The whole is greater than a part. Okay. Now sixth one. Things which are double of the same things are equal to one another. Listen here. Things which are double of the same things are equal to one another. Okay. So here double taken, here also double taken. Then what will happen? X. Then what will happen? This X will become equal to Z. The things which are double of the same things, any two things you take. So it's a double part. So same things double take. Things which are double of the same things. Here Y, here also Y. It's double I taken, so 2Y. It's double I taken, 2Y. So double of the same things I taken. So X is equal to Y and Z is equal to Y. So things which are double of the same things are equal to one another. Then what will happen? This X and Z are equal. Following a very simple language. The things which are double of the same things are equal to one another. We have to by heart. First you make understand properly, then by heart. Things which are double of the same things. Double of the same things. Here Y, it's a double 2Y. I represented as X. Here Y, it's a double is 2Y. I represent as Z. So this 2Y is the double of the same things. No? Then what will happen? This X and this Z are equal. Okay, clear? Yes. Now one more postulate is there. Seventh one. Things which are halves of the same things are equal to one another. Things which are halves of the same things are equal to one another. Same meaning only, they are double taken, here half taken. So here Y is half take, and here also Y is half take. So then what will happen? Things which are halves of the same things. Half of this thing and half of the same thing. And then what will happen? This X and this Z are equal. Okay students? These are the 7 axioms. These all 7 axioms. You make it clear and learn it perfect. Okay? Okay students, remaining part we will see in the next video.